Welcome to today's broadcast. My name is Colleen Patterson, and I'm the Director of Employer Services and Compliance at Savoy. This is week 7 in our series of On the Road to Reopening. We have spent a lot of time talking about topics relating to things like HR, PPP loans, carrier news, legislative news, and the list goes on. Today, I want to shift the conversation a bit and focus on you, our broker partners. One of the continuing education classes I teach is called Using Technology to Your Client's Advantage. In this class, I highlight several statistics about generational access to mobile devices and the impact this has had on digital shopping. Let's face it, there's very little we do without our mobile devices. We can shop, read emails, read the news, do our personal banking, meet with colleagues, FaceTime, and talk on the phone with our families. And all of this is done by a mobile device. This is the way that we communicate on a daily basis. It's critical because it is real time and the market that is being reached and communicated to can be reached endlessly. The way we conduct business now is a very different landscape than it was a few short months ago, and it will continue to be different. The way we communicate with clients is also very different. A constant, though, that remains is the importance to engage in honest, open, and frequent communication with your clients. So for today, we are going to talk about how a digital presence can help you with your communication game, not only with your existing clients, but also impact your future clients. Joining me around the table today is Jolie Sina, who is the Director of Marketing here at Savoy. Jolie, you and I spend a significant amount of time discussing the importance of digital content and how that impacts digital presence. So let's start at a beginner's level. What is the difference between digital content versus digital presence? And how does this create or launch a digital marketing strategy?
Hi, Colleen, and thank you for asking me to join you today to talk about something that I'm very passionate about, which is helping our agencies with their digital marketing. And certainly during this unique time, digital marketing and any sort of digital experience is definitely having its own moment. So let's get started. I would say that your digital presence is your agency's space on the internet. And this includes your digital channels that you use. And in this case, you would be using your website, social media platforms, and even email. You present yourself through your brand, of course, and through the messages that you deliver on behalf of your brand. Digital content, of course, is the content that you put out over these channels, whether it's your website, again, your email, or social media. And you deliver to your brand message. When you have determined your position or niche in the market, you use your digital presence to deliver your message.
Thank you. That was very clear, concise, and easily defined. So, what are the 3 main categories agencies need to focus on for their digital marketing strategy?
Well, I would say, Colleen, when you're executing your digital strategy, the best place to start is with your website, right? When you're first determining your digital strategy, I always recommend to the agencies and the clients I speak with and work with every day to look at their website and evaluate if it looks like their brand, if it sounds like their brand, and offers information that supports their unique value proposition and their space in the market. That's the most important thing you can do. You bring it back to what it is about you and what makes you special and unique and why a client wants to work with you. So it all starts with the website. The website, of course, is the first place a potential client will look to learn more about you. They will instantly do a search on you on the internet and see what comes up. Your website doesn't have to be anything fancy. And in fact, these days, there are a lot of tools out there that you can research and find that will build the website for you. But the website does need to show who you are and what is your value proposition to your potential clients. So when building your website, I always recommend that you ask yourself, does your website represent your brand? Does it look and sound like your brand? That way you're always staying true to your message. And when you're speaking to clients, your brand and your unique value to them really comes through and it's coordinated from the website to your actual conversations. Then from there, you want to get your message out. right, about your products and services and what it is that you have to offer. So how do you do that? You can send emails to your contact list, right? Back in the old days, everybody had their Rolodexes or they would pick up the phone and call, but these days you can send an email to a group of people. Or now we have our social media channels, another way of getting your message out. So you can post your messages on social media and reach a bigger audience of people that are linked or connected to you through your social media. These communications, of course, and again, should always be consistent with your brand's look, with your voice, and support your perspective in your space and what makes you unique. And when collecting and trying to reach out to people, you can always ask, and to kind of build the database that you're working with and the audience that you're reaching, you can ask your contacts to follow you on social media, or you can ask your social media followers to subscribe to your emails in order to receive all that information about you.
Thank you. I think that's probably the biggest misconception out there, that a website is a tremendous undertaking and requires a whole lot of information. So that's very helpful. Of the three categories that we were talking about, is there one category that's more important than the other? In other words, which should an agency focus on first?
That's a great question. I would say that probably, while all channels are important, it's definitely most important to have your website established. Everything points back to that. Emails come from it. Your social media channels will link back to it. So you want to start with your website. That's kind of the core representation of your brand and your message and your unique value proposition. And I would say today, these days, it's very common business practice to have a website. And again, like I mentioned earlier, that people and clients, potential clients, will always look you up and want to understand what it is that you have to offer or what your position is. So without a website, you really would be able to offer that. And again, if with the tools that are out today, whether it's just a simple standalone page or you pay someone to build you out a more complex website, the web is definitely where you want to start. There is something I would also like to mention, that in marketing today, you may have heard of something called an omni-channel, which is the idea of using multiple channels to market yourself or your business or your products. So using all these different channels like we've been discussing here today, Colleen, such as your website, email, or social media, all work together to promote you to your audience and promote your message to your audience. And these messages, I probably should say, don't have to be complex, much like your website. The messages can be simple. They can start out slow. They can start out and build. And as you're building your audience and your database, you can move into more complex messaging and communications. I would also suggest, as a good way of getting started, is mapping out a calendar of what it is that you want to discuss and when. If there's a relevant activity or event that's going on 1 week or 1 month, that you then communicate either via your website, via email, or via your social media channels about this event that's going on. Even offering what we call the 2-cent rule, which is, your perspective on this specific event. This gives a personal touch to what it is that you're trying to get out, and really, again, provides your unique value proposition to potential clients.
Great. So recently, I came across an interesting statistic from the Insurance Technologies Corporation that while shelter-in-place orders were in place, active online quoting volume had decreased by agencies. However, what was interesting, direct consumer quoting inquiries were up. Clearly, prospective buyers were shopping amid the pandemic, and they were doing it on a digital channel. Content is most important and seems to be the biggest challenge in getting started. What recommendations do you have to get started, and what tools does Savoy have available that can help our brokers?
I would say, again, if you're starting with your website, that there are tools available that you could research and look into what's a good fit for you, and that's always a good place to start. There, of course, some of our listeners didn't know, there are websites that offer free fonts and free images that you can use for your website. You can also sign up for basic social media accounts, and those registrations are free. Once your website has information about you and your brand and your unique selling proposition, actually Savoy as a partner is a great resource for material and content that you might want to put up or send out on social media or via to your contacts via your email. You can talk to your Savoy account representative about access to this material. We have one-sheets and compliance content that you can use on your website. With our proprietary marketing tool, you can also download sell sheets and prospecting materials that you can use to send out to your database to talk about all the different products and services that you offer. These come out when you download them from our proprietary tool. You're able to brand them with your logo, so it looks like you're sending them directly. We also actually, through this tool, are able to offer social media posts that you can download and, again, put up in your social media feed. So here at Savoy, we like to make it easy for our partners to market and get their messages out.
Okay. Thank you for joining me today, Jolie. The information that you shared was so helpful, and clearly your knowledge and expertise is invaluable to our broker partners. So again, thank you. It continues to remain a challenging time for everyone, everywhere, both personally and professionally, as change is still constant. How we in the insurance sector react in a crisis can make all the difference for the people we work with, especially the customers who trust and depend on us. As always, should you have any questions, please reach out to your dedicated Savoy team and continue to use the resources available in the COVID-19 section of our new and improved website at savoyassociates.com. From all of us at Savoy, stay healthy and safe. Thank you for joining us today.